Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Great Leaf Fossil Cup, and let's see if we can get some wins with this team. So we're going to be running the Lanturn paired with the Ferrothorn and the Escavalier in the back. We're going to mirror matchup right here. This is going to be interesting. All depends on who's going to shield, who wants to throw the bait, or who wants to go for the Thunderbolts. We're going to allow the first one to go through. It ends up being the Thunderbolt. That's fine. We're going to throw on weird timing. This Thunderbolt here will deal the same damage, but it's going to get let go. So right now our opponent is deciding to throw on timing, so they are going to be able to win the CAP here. So we're going to let this one go. Unfortunately, it looked like they were attack weighted Lanturn. We're going to have to go into our Ferrothorn right here to try to gain as much energy as possible. The good news is they're staying in. They're allowing us to farm it down. So this is fantastic. But anticipating a good counter to this, they actually have the Ferrothorn to use. Okay. Ferrothorn for Ferrothorn is not necessarily a great counter. So whatever they have in the back here does not want to see this Ferrothorn with I don't know, with this team here. So far it's hard to tell. We basically have the same team in the front and the back. It's going to come down to this last Pokemon. We go into our Escavalier here, and they have the Poliwrath in the back. So Poliwrath here is going to try to take down our Escavalier. We did get a little bit of energy advantage here, so we are in the lead here. Our opponent does end up farming up for a big move. We're going to have to shield here no matter what. They go for the Icy Wind, understandable. And now we just got to look for a farm down. We get the farm down, and this is all but over at this point. We have so much energy on our Escavalier, and we're doing super effective fast moves. Even though they still have some shields available, we're going to be able to apply a ton of pressure here. In fact, we're just going to go for counters, shield this one here, and we should be able to fast move them down at this point. And there you go. So GG's to our opponent. We did get the better backline, and we basically had a similar team. They had the Poliwrath counter user, and we have the Escavalier counter user. So a little bit fortunate that the team and the alignment ended up in our favor. So next game, we got the Lanturn versus the Lucario. Okay, Lucario here is going to be pretty good against our Ferrothorn, so we're going to have to stay in. It is running the Force Palm, kind of a cool animation, and kind of a new fast move to add on to the array of moves that Lucario can know these days. But this Lucario is actually running Power Up Punch, so very interesting moveset right here. Definitely don't want our Ferrothorn on it now. We're going to go for 2 serves here. We do grab 2 shields, so we'll take that. We're trying to get to another one. Ooh, so they are able to farm down, so we have no choice but to go into our Escavalier. They switch out immediately into their Lanturn, and now this is the matchup that we wanted on. So we're going to be able to farm up a ton of energy here. We're going to take this move easy. Thunderbolt does roughly like, I don't know, 10%, less than 10%. We're going to build up a lot of energy, throw this Power Whip here, and see how much damage this does. It does get into the red. It does roughly like 55% right there, but it is low enough that we can just farm down at this point. We're going to let this Thunderbolt go through, and anticipating maybe the Lucario to come back. Oh, the Lucario does come back. We're going to let this go because it does have the Power Up Punch. It did reveal Power Up Punch. We tried to get their energy wasted, but they are able to go for the back-to-back Power Up Punch. So we're just going to put everything on the line with our Escavalier. Ends up being the Pelipper. This Pelipper here is going to deal some neutral weather balls, but not only that, they're very spamming. So you can see right here, they are building up a lot of energy. We're going to shield here no matter what we have to, and then we're going to go for this Arrow Ace. This Arrow Ace will potentially get it low enough for a farm down. Let's see. Okay, in the red, 1, 2, yes, we do get the extra counter to go through, and we barely take out that Pelipper. So Escavalier taking out the Pelipper with a little bit of energy advantage is the reason why we won right there. So nice play by us. Next game, let's see what we find. So we do have Nicholas. They are using the Jellicent here. A very good lead for us, expecting them to switch out at some point. They go into their Reggie. We have the Escavalier for this situation. Unfortunately, they are going to be able to get to the move first because they did switch in. And we're just going to one shield and build up a ton of energy here. We're going to go for all these extra counters, and then we're going to throw this drill run right when we have 2. This drill run will get the KO, or it's going to get the shield. Let's see what our opponent ends up doing here. Oh, a little delay. Okay, they decided to let it go and take the shield advantage, and not sure. Okay, I don't know what happened there. They decide to just let it go. It ends up being the Jellicent coming back in. We're going to have to throw this Arrow Ace. This Arrow Ace does some good neutral damage. We're trying to switch out of this situation. And we do get the switch out. And we draw out the Cradily here. It's going to deal well against this Lanturn. But this Lanturn can fight back with these neutral serves. So chipping away at this Cradily is going to be key because it's another opportunity for something in the back for us to farm. It is going to be able to get to this Grass Knot here. Or let's see if they're running Grass Knot. Let's see. Okay, there's Grass Knot. Doesn't quite KO. We're trying to get to another serve, but we get fast move down. So that's not great. But we should be able to come in with our Escavalier here. Deal some counter damage. We can hopefully tank one Rock Slide. Okay, we do comfortably survive one Rock Slide. They switch out into the Jellicent. And we're going to fire off an Arrow Ace here to chip away. If they let this go, it is better opportunity for this Ferrothorn to farm down, and it looks like that's exactly what we have to do. We're going to shield here. Ends up being the Shadow Ball, so we do shield the correct Shadow Ball right there, and now this is just a farm down opportunity. They have to go for another Shadow Ball. It will not KO, but it does roughly 50%, but that allows our Ferrothorn to completely farm down, and now we see that they have the Cradily. We know that we can throw this energy here to at least get a shield. It's definitely going to shield. They have 2 shields, and we're going to go for another shield here. They have to build up to 2, so we're going to apply the pressure. No shields available. We're going to switch out into the Escab. We deal that 1 counter, getting it extremely low, forcing them to use this energy here, and then we're going to go back into our Ferrothorn, and we do get the 1 fast move, farm down kill. So GG Star Abundant, able to win that game. That Escavalier coming in clutch, dealing a lot of damage towards the Cradily and the Registeel. So thankfully, we were able to force them to waste all that energy. All right, next we have the Poliwrath versus our Lanturn. Pretty decent. We are going to stay in for now. They potentially could have Dynamic Punch, but they try to catch a move, and then they switch into their Reggie, and we have this Escavalier. We've seen the situation. We got to shield once, and then we got to keep farming a ton of energy. Focus Blast, even though it's only neutral, it does still a significant amount of damage towards this Executron. Or Escavalier, excuse me. We're going to go for this drill run. They do decide to shield, and then we have another one. We fire it off immediately. This is going to get the shield or get the KO, so double shielded down. And do we decide to shield here or let this go? We think we can shield and farm down, so we're going to go for the farm down at this point. And we do just barely grab it, so that's really good timing by us. Really have energy for the potential Poliwrath coming back in, and it does get it. The Poliwrath to come back in. We're going to go for this Arrow Ace. No shields available. Huge Arrow Ace goes through, and we are able to farm down. What do they have in the back here? Ends up being the Ferrothorn. That is not good news for our opponent. The Ferrothorn here is going to tank a lot of damage from our fast moves and that drill run. So you can see right here, they are forced to use some energy. Ends up being the Thunder. Does take out our Escavalier, but we do have the Mirror Ferrothorn, and they decide to GG's quit because mirror matchup, especially with our Ferrothorn really healthy, there's just no chance. So good recognition by us, double shielding that mirror. The only chance they had was to double shield and try to flip the switch on us. Here, great lead again. This Glossopod versus the Lanturn has no chance. They could potentially have some X-Scissor. Yeah, there's an X-Scissor neutral charge move right there. They go into their Lanturn, and we have the Ferrothorn for this Lanturn, and they decide that's enough. So GG Star Opponent able to win that game. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.